Hey, you guys. So, most of you know that I was a cardiac exercise physiologist for about 9 years, in addition to my personal training and nutrition. So, I still to this day try to stay up on the newest research studies and peer review studies and things like that when it comes to the physiology of the body and certain ways to improve things and certain things to stay away from. So, I just came across a study about stretching in regards to our heart health. So it was with the American Journal of Physiology, and basically it explained the link between trunk flexibility, so that's our midsection flexibility, so like the sit and reach test that people may have you do when you start a new gym. So it's a direct link between our trunk flexibility and our arterial flexibility. So that basically, the link is saying that if we are very flexible in our trunk area, so if we can sit down and touch our toes or further than the toes, then it has a direct link with our arterial flexibility, and it basically says that they're more elastic, which ultimately leads to a decrease in our blood pressure. So when your vessels are more elasticy, you tend to have lower blood pressure. So people that have stiffer arteries, which ultimately eventually leads to heart disease in the future, they tend to have higher blood pressure. So it's mainly that systolic blood pressure. So you have the systolic, so 120 over 80, the 120 would be the systolic, and that's when the heart's contracting. And then the relaxation phase is the diastolic, which would be the 80. So they have found a direct link to that. So the people that do have more of a flexible midsection, so if you can stand up and touch your toes, or when you're sitting down, you can lean over and you can touch your toes all the way. There is that direct link. I mean, plenty of studies have shown that there is a direct link to the arterial health. So what I am trying to tell you guys is that do not skip stretching. Flexibility is key, and it not only helps us perform better in the gym, in athletics, and just on a daily basis, but it prevents injury and overall wellness. So I mean, people that do yoga, if you've met these people, 9 times out of 10, they just have a more mellow, calming nature to them. And it's probably because their blood pressure is nice and low. The elasticity in their arteries is nice and, it's not as tight. They don't have hypertension. They're probably lower on the spectrum in regards to developing cardiac disease later in life. So please try to incorporate flexibility. I know so many people that I start working with that don't ever stretch, or they say, oh, I'm working with another trainer and we never stretch. And my question is why? I mean, sometimes it hurts a little bit, but it feels amazing once you're done stretching. And for me, it feels good during. So try to remember that as you kind of like putz in the gym and you're like, well, I'm going to skip my stretching for the day. Just know that there is a heart benefit to that stretching. It's not just so you're nice and limber and, you can tell people, oh, I can touch my toes with my legs straight. There is a further, deeper meaning there, and it's going to benefit you in the long run. So please try to incorporate it into your regimen a few days a week if you can. And you never want to pulse. So the one thing I want to tell you, when you're stretching, I see it all the time. You'll see people and they're like trying to touch their toes and they're doing this because they think it's going to help them. And it's really, really not. So you need to hold it steady, a minimum of 30 seconds if you can. And, try to do at least 5 minutes every few days. If you can do it every day, that's even better. But, a little bit goes a long way. So keep that stretching up. And another side note, I know I don't typically wear hats, but I just couldn't help myself. My girl Shelly Lou Lids, she did this cutesy hat, and it is one of her many. And I had to do a shout out to my girl because she is killing it. And she is in over 20 stores in Central Ohio. And you guys have to check all of her hats out. So this is like the trucker version hat. And they fit so well. They're adjustable. She's got all different types. She's t-shirts. She just is so stinking artistic, and her stuff is so well made. It's great. So I'm going to put her Etsy account down below. Check it out. If you guys have any questions about my cute hat or about stretching or about anything pertaining to nutrition or exercise, please holler and I would love to help. But have a good day, and thanks again, Shelly.